I was showing a listing over here by this new listing in Northwest Oklahoma City. And I thought, well, I'll swing by there and look. I've got several people looking for a house kind of in this price range in this part of the city. So I'd look and see if it might be of anything of interest to it. And so I can pass it along. While I was here, I thought I'd tell you a recent story about a phone call that I got a couple days ago. I got this call and the guy said, you know, I've been following you on Facebook for a while. And I know that you do a lot of work with first-time buyers and renters. And he said, I've been planning on buying a house. And he said, I kind of got excited and called the mortgage company. And I got a call the other day and they said I was approved. So I was picking up the phone to call you because I want you to be my realtor. But what I thought I'd do first is make sure I understand what's going on. And so I told him, called back and told him what I was looking for. And I said, kind of tell me what it's going to cost me and what my payments would be and my upper limit and everything. They had already approved me for, he said, $250,000. So he said it wasn't 30 minutes later they called and they said, well, you're going to need about $8,000 for your down payment. And he said my closing costs would be probably somewhere in the neighborhood of another $7,000 or $8,000, maybe even $9,000 in that price range. So he said, you know, all of a sudden I need $15,000 to buy a house. And he said, that kind of upset me because you've been talking for a long time about special plans that you had, and you can get in sometimes with 100% financing, no down payment, and there might be some closing costs, but that can be negotiated. But, you know, I might be able to get into a house for maybe even as low as $1,000, and it might even cost me $5,000 or $6,000. But he said, I can scrape together $5,000 or $6,000, but he said, I don't have $15,000. So he said, would you please tell me what's going on and what you've got that's special that they don't have? And I said, well, the problem is, he said, not all lenders have access to all the programs. And so what happens if the lender gets to somebody that doesn't have a program that's a match, even though you may be approved, if you're not a good match for the program they approve you for, what good does that do you? Doesn't do you a darn bit of good. That's like somebody saying I can run a marathon, but it might take me 3 days. But anyway, so I told him, I said, we need to see what programs you might be eligible for, which special programs. And I said, there's 3 or 4 different ones out there. And I said, but in order to know which program you might best fit, I said, I need to get more information about your financial situation, your income, your credit history, all those kinds of things. But I said, if you have 15, maybe 20 minutes to tell me about those kind of things, I'll visit with you, and then I'll kind of go through your information, see what you might be eligible for, and then I'll show you what you might be able to do without being $15,000. I said, I bet you anything we can get you in for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, maybe even less. So anyway, I got all of his information. Sure enough, he was eligible for special down payment assistance. And that would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $7,000, $7,500 for the down payment. But with that program, you'll get in with no down payment. And I said the closing costs, yeah, they'll probably be $8,000 or so, maybe a tad bit more than that. But the nice thing about it is the seller can pay a little bit. And even in this market, sellers can sometimes, or will agree sometimes, to pay a little bit. By a little bit, I mean $2,000 or $3,000 or so. So if you've got $5,000 or so, there's a good chance we can get you in the house and get you in the house in the next 30 to 60 days. So he was very relieved and actually excited to hear about that. And he said, so I've been wasting the last 2 months visiting with these people. And I said, well, it's not exactly a waste because it got you motivated to do something. And I said, that's something that's a positive. And the other thing about that is that he did get you to call. And I said, I know you've been looking at homes for around 3, maybe 4 years. And I know sooner or later the timing will be right because you called me a couple of times. I knew you were just trying to get to the space that you need to be in order to actually make a decision to pull the trigger and start thinking seriously about it. But anyway, if you know anybody like this, maybe they really want a house, but they're just sitting on the fence. They're not exactly sure what can be done. They're not sure what they're eligible for. They have no idea who to talk to. They're just really afraid that they can't qualify, and they don't do anything. But in this case, It wasn't because he's not eligible. He just didn't get to the right person. So if there's something I can do to help you, feel free to give me a shout. I'd be able to help you in any way that I can. And like I said, usually it starts best with a brief phone call, usually 15, maybe 20 minutes. But I'll be glad to visit with you for however long it takes, and I'll be glad to do it. So if there's anything I can do, give me a call. My contact information is below, and I'll be happy to talk to you. And maybe you'll even become a homeowner sometime in the next few months. Thanks for listening to this video. If you have any interest in this house, give me a shout. Looks like a pretty decent house, and it's priced only $160,000. Thanks a lot. Have a great day out there. And it's Kyle No with eXp Realty. Bye-bye.